Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond this morning. Good morning, Colonel.
Morning, Moore County. Hey, time to pack up those glad rags. Weekend's over. Mother's Day is done. Get the career costume out. Don't forget your rain gear. Get to work. Move it.
All right, you got your standing orders. I saw Avengers Endgame this weekend, and that song right there was the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, it was.
When Chris Plant made his entrance to that song. Okay. The rest of it was...
Yeah, well...
just some visual vomit in your face the whole time.
I'm sure it'll make $1 billion, so...
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I worry about the snowflakes. I really do. Don't forget this program being seen around the world right now as we speak on our live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link. You can also get it on your mobile device using your YouTube app. Put Mornings with the Leader Man in there and look for the one that says Live Now. If you're on your mobile device just needing audio, we suggest TuneIn, iTunes, stream. All those streaming services are free and available at your app store, and we'll do the job for you. Alexa will do it, and so will Google. Just put WEEB in your search, and if you're on your computer, going to our website at Talk 973, it's always available in the upper right-hand corner of all of our web pages. Click that icon that says On the Air, Listen Live once, and you're listening that quick. You know, weather for us today here in the Sand Hills, right quick. Let me stop Napster so it doesn't continue to disrupt the program. What was I going to say?
Weather in the Sand Hills.
Okay. A lot of senior moments this morning already. Partly cloudy today with scattered showers possible. Not a big probability in our area. We'll probably have a dry day. You might get under a cloud that disagrees with that, but it will be brief and short-lived. Look for a high today of 78. Tonight, clouds are, we clear up from these clouds. Be good sleeping while you can throw your windows open, 52 for your low. And Tuesday is just going to be ideal for this time of year. Normal temperatures for a change. Low humidity, mostly sunny with a high of 71. Hard to beat that. Wednesday, a tad warmer, 74. Thursday's 81. Now we're getting too warm, Mama Nature. 85 on Friday, that sucks. And Saturday and Sunday right around the 90-degree mark.
Yeah, there you go. 85, just starting to feel good.
But no mention of rain throughout the week. So we got that at least going for us. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are southwest to 10. Visibility 10 statute miles. Humidity 96%. Dew point 67. Pressure 2974. It's cloudy. 68 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Now, one thing I did this morning, Jeff saw me record Zoom Wall Zone into the Zoom Wall thing.
I heard it as it went in.
And
you played the old one.
And John goes to a lot of work to put these things together.
He does.
I want to give it the correct play. So here is the actual Zoom Wall Zone for this Monday.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, if you listened to the extended ZZ on Friday, you heard me make a mistake. I got 2 pieces of land purchased by the school board switched with one another. And during the broadcast, my phone started going nuts, as did the phone of the station owner, Steve Adams. Listeners were texting and calling to let me know I had it wrong. It was not a fun experience, but I appreciated it. I learned something from that humiliating moment. I learned to be more careful. I've always known I have a tremendous responsibility to get my facts straight, and I've always taken that much more seriously than you could possibly know. As soon as I was notified of the error, I corrected it immediately during the broadcast, and that broadcast is posted to the WEEB webpage. Nothing to hide, no attempt to hide anything. But I can promise you this, I know that me being sincere is not good enough. It's got to be right. You can bet I'll have a couple of fact checkers from now on. It was my mistake. No one else was involved. And it's a good lesson for you as a listener as well. I preach one phrase over and over and over. Never take my word. Check out the facts on everything. Never believe what you hear or read. My stuff's easy to check, thank goodness. If you look at WEEB's webpage, it's all there, even moments that are not my finest. I hope you'll continue to check me out on the Zoomwald Zone.
You know, several things from that. All we're trying to do is dig to the truth and to get those that are in power to follow suit instead of trying to hide it behind the staff. The staff will try to hide their mistakes.
Yeah.
It's called CYA, cover your you-know-what.
That's the difference. John has a little integrity, and I'm fairly certain he lost some sleep over that over the weekend.
Yeah.
And, there it is. He takes the time, lets everybody know, hey, I made a mistake.
Well, it wasn't a big mistake. What it was he was talking about the price of land, and he got the two pieces of land's price. What's the word?
Well, he just flip flopped the prices of the.
Didn't change the facts.
Yeah, exactly. In the greater scheme of things, it's a minor issue. In regard to getting our $1 million back, in regard to some of the other things that seem to be going on here behind the scenes with these bids, et cetera, et cetera. So, there'll be some hay made over, flip-flopping the prices or whatever. But
the big question was, why did we pay? Well, the land over there off the Morganton Road for that school was originally bought 2 years ago for $29,000, but the school board then turns around and buys it for, in 2 years, $79,000. There wasn't that much.
Yeah, it was appraised
per acre.
It was appraised at 29. I don't know when he bought it or initially.
Well, it was 2 years later.
2 years later, and then it appraised at the 79 figure.
I don't know if it got appraised, but that's what they bought it for, $79,000 an acre, 20 acres. You do the math. That's $50,000 increase in the price in 2 years per acre, times 20. What is that math? Is that I left my phone at home. What is wrong with me today?
It's Monday.
Yeah. Well, 10%, 50 would be $5 million. This would be $10 million.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean,
Yeah. So, which is ridiculous amount of and I'll question, how did the appraisal get that high so quick?
Right.
Now, most of they could have done is run the water and sewer line there to enhance it. But the water and sewer line was already there for the apartment buildings.
Yes.
That were already there. So it just becomes ridiculous in what we're paying for this land. And when questioned about it, one of the board members told me at a public meeting that this was the only contiguous piece of land large enough to hold the school and within the corporate city limits of Southern Pines, which is poor excuse for buying something.
Right. Exactly at that price. Yeah.
Yeah. Given that's $10 million, it could have done a lot of educating.
Yeah. Thank you, taxpayers.
Now we've shown the school board how they could save $6 million a building, boom, simply by building it themselves.
Yeah.
Of course, their staff comes up with a litany of reasons why we can't do that. We might not be able to get a mortgage. They put the fear of God into the board, even though all those hurdles were answered at the time.
Yeah.
But they just don't want to do it any different than in the past. Get bids, take the lowest bid,
which they didn't do.
Yeah. Which if they just built it themselves, they save $6 million a building. But they're not interested in that. Then in recent activities, there was the Farm Life School, the one out there on Camp Easter Road.
Yes.
Where all the bids came in, and they were all within $2,000 of each other. Now, I'm not going to mention the staff's name, but one of the senior staff members looked at me and said that, wow, we couldn't believe that they were all within $2,000 of each other. And I said, well, you know what that tells me? They're talking to each other.
Even a layman knows better than that.
Yeah, it's called collusion. And that person looked at me with such surprise, like,
what?
huh?
What's collusion mean?
Well, I have to give them credit; they would know that. But,
Oh, they did. Okay, well,
but anyway, nothing ever happened on it. I'd be getting the SBI in here to find out about collusion because they're bid rigging the price. So if one decides to pull out, well, the next one's ready right there to get the bid.
right.
And they're all within $2,000. Well, they must have heard me talking about it on the air because the most recent bid, it came in $900,000 difference. That's still not much difference on a $30 million building.
No.
But we give them the benefit of the doubt. But the problem is the one who got the bid decided to pull out. The problem is they didn't meet the statutes for pulling out. The statute says you must do it within 72 days. They requested 12 days later.
Well, they were induced to pull out by our school administration
Right.
saying, hey, how about you lower your bid? We don't have, this is a little bit more than we had budgeted for this school, which induced them to write the letter. And
Their first reason for
renege on
pulling
the
out
bid.
was that you didn't have the money to pay us.
Right.
And that was their first reason. Well, that wasn't a statute reason they could use. So then miraculously all this addition error shows up, but it's outside the statute's time limit.
Yeah.
So our thing is, we want our school board, that's your money. That's your money. That could be used, A, to lower the price of the bid, or the damage is done by having to switch to the next lowest bidder,
Right.
which was $2.8 million difference, all total. And that would help ease that pain. But but the school board goes, oh, well, it was an honest addition error. We looked at it and we know it was not intentional. That's bulldookie. They still didn't do it within the statute.
Right. Pulling their bid was intentional, and, that's all you need.
Exactly. And so we want $1.5 million that's due the taxpayers of Moore County. And they said, well, we'd have to litigate it, and we don't know whether we'd win, and it might cost more than what it's worth. No, you don't. You tell them, we want your insurance company, because that's how they do it with an insurance policy, to pay bond insurance, to pay the policy. They attach it to the bid. So it's sitting right there. Travelers Insurance is the one guaranteeing it. And you go to Travelers, say, we're making a claim on this thing. And if Travelers has a problem with it, they take it up with Clancy and Thays, the contractor. But they need to pay us. And if they don't, then you turn it over to the insurance commissioner and let the power of the state of North Carolina get to them because, hey, they'll pull their authorization to do business in North Carolina.
Right.
And then they got a real decision to make.
You'll have a check by the end of the week.
Yeah. But they won't do it. They don't have a ball between all the members. No guts whatsoever. And they need to grow a pair. Because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of the school board not having the guts to get things done. They hide behind Grimacy's mealy-mouth explanation of all this. And John Barath's mealy-mouth explanation of all this. John Barath, by the way, a former employee of the very architectural firm that got all 4 bids to design all 4 schools,
Right.
which look incredibly the same.
Which is under investigation in Horry County, South Carolina, for these very similar kind of activities, and which also did the same thing in Harnett County. Another
Harnett County, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, same
They
architectural
worked at Harnett
firm.
County schools,
Right.
and
Did the
they
same
was-
thing up there.
yeah, they were so glad to get rid of them. They were about to write us a check.
Right.
But it's at the point that the SBI needs to come in and settle it all. Get to the bottom, find out exactly what happened. Was there bid rigging or collusion?
Let's find out.
Yeah. Was there? Did the company perform within the statutes of the general statutes? No. And they should pay. And if there is some collusion, somebody needs to be spending some time in the bokeh.
Yeah. This isn't new. It's been done before.
Yeah.
This is no
Right.
This is no big surprise enterprise to be involved in.
Had a big bid rigging thing going on in Raleigh with the pavers up there, the big paving contractors. And 8 people from 8 different companies went to prison.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, and to straighten things out for a while, but the money talks. Why are we paying $50,000 an acre more all of a sudden? Was there something going on there? Maybe not. Maybe so. But let's find out.
Let's find out.
Yeah. So that's why we're jumping up and down about it. The pilot is following the
they're
pathetic
missing,
pilot. Yeah,
they're missing in action. Just doing that. At this point, why do you even bother to mention them?
they will oppose it simply because I'm involved on the other side.
They get more airtime and more readership by listening, from what we're talking about than they do on their own. We should just forget them.
Well, all they are now is a fluff piece of paper, kind of like pine straw. If that's what you like, woo, they're it. Because they don't do any reporting. They basically republish what Helena Wallen-Miller said as the school board chairman.
Yeah, there you go. There's your investigative reporter.
Yeah,
right there.
which was basically reflecting the words of Grimacy and Barath.
Well, that's if she even wrote it.
Yeah, she didn't write it. A lawyer wrote it. You can tell. Man, I don't care if she's gone to law school. This was written by a lawyer connected with that school board. But anyway, let's find out. Let's get our money back. $1.5 million is a lot of money. That money's got to come from somewhere. I want it to come from the insurance policy, because otherwise we got to dig in your hip pocket and get it.
Well, here's something for the state legislature. They should go away from this and make them put up a cash bond, and then it's not a problem. Yeah. Just keep it.
Yeah. Instead of Xeroxing a policy and stapling it to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Pull out your checkbook, write a check, and let us cash it.
It's probably got a facsimile signature on it, too.
And on a certain date, the bids are open, and if you're not the bidder, you get your cash back.
Right.
It's kind of like bail bondsman.
Yep. There you go.
He has to deposit cash with the county, and that's what he goes around and gets people out of jail based on that bond sitting in the vault.
Right.
All right, so that's where we're at. We want somebody with the power and authority to go and investigate and get to the bottom of it. We just want the truth, and we're not getting it. The school board sitting there saying, "Oh, that's conspiracy theory crap." No, it's not. This is based on the stuff you gave us.
Yeah, there's no theory here, people.
Yeah, it's all pure
this
fact.
Is facts.
Yeah.
What theory do you come up with?
All right, well, let's lighten up now and try to entertain you, if that's possible. I think we can accomplish that goal somehow, some way. Game of Thrones on again last night. The next to the last issue, I believe it is.
Thank God.
Number 5 and number 6.
What happened? Tell me.
Okay, this is this is the Deathpool song. If you haven't seen it, cover your ears for 45 seconds, because this song tells everybody who.
We lost some more?
Who has bit the bullet here.
From King's Landing across Westeros to Winterfell, who will survive Season 8? Only time will tell. Will it be Grey Worm the or Podrick Payne, to Gilly Gendry, or Tormund Giantsbane, Jon Snow, Little Sam Loras, Bronn or Jon and Daenerys? Was Tyrion the Onion Knight, or will Sansa Stark be the one to survive? Samwell, Tarly, Brienne of Tarth, or the Drogon, Rhaegal, either one of her dragons, Jaime the Knight, or Mill, or the guy with the three-eyed raven up, Jon, or Arya, Theon, or Yara, who the will claim as unknown on Game of Thrones.
They lost a few then.
Huh?
They said they lost a few last night then.
Yeah, every bleat was somebody getting killed.
I didn't hear the queen. What was her name? Cersei. I didn't hear that. Didn't hear the two big knights. What were their names?
Well, the ones that died were Dolores Ed, Lady Mormont, Lyanna Mormont, Theron Greyjoy, the Night King, Jorah Mormont. It's got everybody's got a weird spelling. Beric. Dondarrion. There we go. Help me, Jeff. Melisandre. Missandei.
Yeah.
Boy, you are a fan. You know these things. Boom, boom, boom.
No, I read them. Yeah.
One of the dragons, and Varys, the fat bald eunuch.
Varys.
Varys, is that his name?
Yeah.
All right. The names don't stick with me because they're so weird, but I do know what a eunuch is.
Yes.
I remember that word showed up in my 12th grade vocabulary list. Eunuch. I went, when will I ever need this word? A eunuch is a castrated man put in charge of a heroine.
Well, that's yeah, okay.
That was the definition at that time because I remember it. And I said, when am I going to need this? Well, the next time you read Game of Thrones, you will need it. Because he talks about being a eunuch a lot. All right, Mother's Day was yesterday. Hope you spent a lot of time with your mom, if she's still living. I wish mine was living, so I could have spent time with her. Same with Jeff. But that's the way things go. You know, I heard it said well yesterday. I hope I can repeat it right. He said, life. Now I can't repeat it. I don't know it. Life comes to an end. The final scene is where it comes to an end, or something like that.
A little Shakespeare there. Is that it?
Something like, I guess. And now I can't remember the quote exactly. I'll have to look it up on Google. But Mother's Day message.
So you bought your mom a card, a bouquet of flowers from the grocery store, and lunch at Outback. Way to phone it in. She must be so proud to have you as her kid. Way to go, hotshot. Way to go.
Well, what's the matter? What? 80% of the restaurants here are chain restaurants, so you can hardly fault somebody for going to an Outback.
No.
I mean, there's some really high end places to go, and they're nice, but they all do reservations for Mother's Day. So,
Well, I went to a nice Mother's Day dinner yesterday. Not my mom, but another friend of mine's mom, and met her family and ran that gauntlet.
He didn't run you out, so you're doing okay.
Yeah, I survived the whole thing. So,
did you wear your earphones with you?
Here's something you can practice this week to become a better human being, by the way. And, of course, we have the tip here.
Motivational Monday. The eyes have it. Here are some reasons why it's good to practice strong eye contact in your everyday life. Eye contact makes you more warm and personable. Looking someone in the eye also makes you more attractive and likable. Eye contact also makes you look more qualified, skilled, competent, and valuable. You'll also be more trustworthy, honest, and sincere. Direct eye contact also conveys confidence and emotional stability. So, show and earn more respect and look them in the eyes.
Motivational Monday.
Well, the Southwest flight from Sacramento to L.A. had to turn around before it took off last Wednesday because of a mechanical issue. Then they got delayed again when they had to refuel. So the flight attendants started handing out water. One of the passengers joked that they should be handing out vodka. And one of the flight attendants took issue with the joke, made the plane turn around again to kick him off the flight.
What?
Serious.
No sense of humor, huh?
Here's another passenger talking about how the whole plane disagreed with it.
He said something that, well, they should be passing out vodka because we've been waiting so long. She came by and said, well, I didn't like your joke. Then my wife tried to butt in there and say, look, we've been on this plane for hours right now. And she says, well, so have I, so get used to it. Then all of a sudden, I see her on the telephone up in front. And people started yelling then. In fact, people stood up. I stood up. People were saying, this man didn't do anything. If they have this in their records, maybe it'll prevent it from happening again. I've never, ever seen anything like this.
It won't. They'll do it again.
That was somebody with a little authority who was going to show you she had authority over your life.
Authority.
You make a joke about our water and vodka.
Yeah, she should be
I'll
fired.
show you.
Yeah. Well,
The Peter principle at work there. Burger King wants to deliver to people stuck in their cars in traffic jams. They tried it in Mexico, and bringing it to California, they used real-time traffic data and digital billboards at key locations with heavy traffic close to a Burger King. Then you use voice commands to order from their app. They use GPS to pinpoint your location and deliver the food on a motorcycle. Here's the ad.
The Traffic Jam Whopper. We used real-time data to detect our potential buyers in a traffic jam to offer them a Whopper and deliver on the move, promoting our service only in high congestion zones. By leveraging traffic and drivers' real-time data, we adjusted our billboards' location and content. The messages displayed information about the remaining time in traffic to order and personalized updates about deliveries in progress using the latest Google Maps APIs. Our app pinpointed vehicle location and speed in order to deliver for the first time ever to a driver on the move. The Traffic Jam Whopper.
Enjoy the traffic jam.
Well, that's, back when I was a kid, if there was, the university football game, so there'd be long lines of traffic, you'd go out there and sell them Cokes and stuff, and then the cops would run you off because, So now you can do this. Okay, fine.
Okay, so you order on the app. That, of course, gives them your credit card number and all that. So you got $10 ordered. What if he doesn't show up? Do you get your money back?
Yeah, there you go.
And that's all we need. Come on, guy, move. I'm waiting on my order.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Well, notionally they can follow the phone, but, hey, why don't they do it by drone?
There you go. Of course, somebody will get their fingers cut off.
Yeah, well, there is that.
Two YouTube personalities, and I hate that word, YouTube personality. Where do you work? Oh, I'm a YouTube personality.
Yeah.
They were in Texas and pulled an idiotic prank last month where they pretended to be executives and told random Walmart employees they were fired. One woman started crying, so there was a big backlash to this.
I'm going to need you to see your badge and your vest because you're fired.
One more.
I don't appreciate you walking around here. You're supposed to be at the cashier cashing people out. What if someone was looking around and they don't see you because you're busy over here?
I am close to the...
You can maybe find a different Walmart to work at, but this one, I'm in charge now, and I don't appreciate the way you're working, so I'm going to need to see your badge and your vest. And then when your shift is over, you can get your discharge papers. Or actually, I can call the manager that's actually working with me today, and I can have them give you your discharge papers. But I'm going to need to see your vest and your badge.
Okay.
Well, you better hope somebody doesn't go postal on your butt while you're doing this prank. There's another video of a toddler trying to get Alexa to play Baby Shark, and this time Alexa seems to know the song but keeps asking the little girl if she wants to play it, almost like she was leading the kid on.
I think you want to hear the song Baby Shark?
Yeah.
Play the song Baby Shark, right?
Yes.
I didn't catch that. Was that play the song Baby Shark?
Okay, stop doing that, Alexa.
I think you are asking for the song Baby Shark. Is that right?
Yes, it is right.
Was that play the song Baby Shark?
Yes. Okay, Alexa, stop. Stop that.
smart kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Alexa, stop that before I crush you against the wall. You know, you're only $19.95.
Yeah,
it will be worth to see your death.
Dump you in a bucket of water.
Yeah, and watch you fry. All right, currently here in the Sandhills, we're looking at 68 degrees, 94% humidity, and the dew point of 66. Here comes your news, sports, and weather.
Light morning rain showers, especially for those counties to the north, will continue to clear out of here as we go into the afternoon. We'll work on those clouds breaking apart and temperatures heading into the mid to upper 70s. Warmer highs.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, if you listened to the extended ZZ on Friday, you heard me make a mistake. I got 2 pieces of land purchased by the school board switched with one another. And during the broadcast, my phone started going nuts, as did the phone of the station owner, Steve Adams. Listeners were texting and calling to let me know I had it wrong. It was not a fun experience, but I appreciated it. I learned something from that humiliating moment. I learned to be more careful. I've always known I have a tremendous responsibility to get my facts straight, and I've always taken that much more seriously than you could possibly know. As soon as I was notified of the error, I corrected it immediately during the broadcast, and that broadcast is posted to the WEEB webpage. Nothing to hide, no attempt to hide anything. But I can promise you this, I know that me being sincere is not good enough. It's got to be right. You can bet I'll have a couple of fact checkers from now on. It was my mistake. No one else was involved. And it's a good lesson for you as a listener as well. I preach one phrase over and over and over. Never take my word. Check out the facts on everything. Never believe what you hear or read. My stuff's easy to check, thank goodness. If you look at WEEB's webpage, it's all there, even moments that are not my finest. I hope you'll continue to check me out on the Zumwalt Zone.
Assange say they will seek his extradition once he has served his time in the UK. Darian Vance goes to court later today. He's a 26-year-old Texas man arrested in connection with the disappearance of his 4-year-old stepdaughter in Houston. Vance told police that he and the girl had been attacked and that she was kidnapped. Police, though, in Houston think otherwise. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are deep in the red. Right now, Dow futures down about 342 points. S&P futures off 41, NASDAQ futures down 143 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump has declared war against the Federal Reserve. The winner will determine the outcome of the world's economy. My name's Adam Barada. I'm the author of the national best-selling book, Gold is a Better Way. Trump has called the Federal Reserve crazy, his number one enemy, and believes they've blown a massive asset bubble that their rising rates will pop. Trump knows he must beat the Fed to the punch before they cause another financial collapse. He'll do this by monetizing gold. His brilliant plan will cause the price of gold to double overnight. I lay it all out in my in-depth report, The Mar-a-Lago Accord. To get this report and a free copy of my best-selling book, text the words Trump Gold to 49776. That's Trump Gold to 49776. The U.S. owns more gold than every nation in the world. Trump's about to use that gold to make America great again. Text Trump Gold to 49776. That's Trump Gold to 49776. If you have an IRA or 401k, you absolutely need to see this. Text Trump Gold to 49776.
An Iranian national sentenced to 10 years in prison in Iran for spying for the United Kingdom.
An Iranian judicial spokesman said the person jailed had worked for the British Council and that they'd confessed to cooperating with British intelligence agents. According to the spokesman, the defendant had been engaged in projects that involved what was described as cultural infiltration in Iran. The accused wasn't identified, but is believed to be a woman. There's been no reaction yet from the British government. It's been engaged in a protracted effort to free another woman, the dual British-Iranian national Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe, from prison in Tehran. She was also accused of spying, a charge she denies.
The BBC's Alan Johnston. Nissan seeing sales and profits tumbled as its once revered former chairman Carlos Ghosn awaits trial on charges of financial misconduct. News and analysis at townhall.com. One person is dead following gunfire at a Trump Organization property in South Florida.
Miami-Dade police spokesman Alvaro Zabaleta says somebody called 911 early yesterday afternoon reporting shots were fired at the Trump International Beach Resort Miami in Sunny Isle Beach, apparently leaving 43-year-old Mohammed Jarati dead.
It appears that a stray bullet traveled from the property of the Trump International across the street through the parking lot and striking this individual that apparently was working.
At last word, a 19-year-old woman was recovering from a gunshot wound at an area hospital. Homicide detectives detained several people for questioning. Firearms were also seized at the scene. I'm Matt Small.
A Los Angeles federal judge has set an October 22nd trial date for Tesla CEO Elon Musk. A British man filed a defamation suit against Musk, who would publicly mock the plaintiff as a pedophile. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Good morning, First Casualty Insurance. This is Jared.
Jared, I just rear-ended a brand new Lexus. The guy really looks mad, and I'm sitting in my car with my windows rolled up. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Wanda, now stay calm. Is anyone injured? Have you called the police?
They just arrived. Oh, Jared, am I in big trouble?
Wanda, you're not in trouble. The officer will need to get some info from you and the other driver. You should go ahead and get out of the car and speak with them.
Okay, if I have to.
When you are finished with the police, give me a call back, and I will help you file a claim so that your car and the other person's car can be repaired as quickly as possible.
Oh, thank you, Jared. You've made me feel so much better. I love First Casualty Insurance.
We represent over 3 dozen outstanding companies. Call us anytime you have an insurance question. We want to be your insurance people. 910-692-8303. First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. 910-692-8303.
Here's another happy patient at Sandhills Weekend Dental in West End.
Hi there, my name is Gary, and I'm a dental avoider-aholic, which means I avoid going to the dentist because of a deep-rooted fear of dentists that I've had since the early 50s when I was a child. Recently, that entire avoidance fear that is deep-rooted has been smashed when I met the staff and dentist, Dr. Terry Ann Sams. She did an amazing job to make me feel comfortable and confident with the approach that we were going to take together, figuring out what's going to work best for me and my budget and for me and my oral hygiene.
Sandhills Weekend Dental on Highway 211 just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday 9 to 4, Saturday 9 to 2. Call 910-687-4423. 687-4423.
Eat, kiss, and smile better.
Does the idea of getting out into US 1 traffic make you cringe? The increasing traffic and impersonal service of chain drugstores is a reminder of why we like small town life. Hello, I'm Pat McLean, and I would like to welcome you to McLean Drug. We are located at 735 South Bennett Street. It's all here. Friendly, helpful service, convenient access, drive-through window, and discount prices. So stop by or give us a call at 246-9355.
McLean Drug on Bennett Street in Southern Pines for the personal prescription touch.
Hi, Chef Karen here to let you know Friday Night Seafoods is back at Philly and Colts. Enjoy a fried calabash seafood platter for only $19.95. Whitefish, shrimp, oysters and scallops, fries and slaw. Or a piping hot bowl of homemade soup and a giant fish sandwich for lunch. Can't come Friday? Join us Saturdays for prime rib. Philly and Colts at Little River Golf and Resort, 692-4411.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. President Trump urging China to make a trade deal with the U.S. Taking to Twitter, the president said Beijing should not retaliate despite the U.S. adding 25% tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports. He says it will force companies to leave China for other countries. The Dow and S&P futures are down today. CBS News' Jill Schlesinger.
The markets were sort of forgiving last week, maybe thinking that the president was using this as a negotiation tactic. And it looks like over the weekend, many concluded that it really didn't matter if this was a negotiation tactic because it could actually harm the economy in real time.
A farm building owned by a North Carolina state senator caught fire on Sunday morning in Autryville in Sampson County. The 80-foot by 100-foot building is a part of Jackson Farming Company, which is owned by North Carolina Senator Brent Jackson of Clinton. He tells WRAL News.
I mean, that's part of being in rural North Carolina. I mean, we all pull together when there's a tragedy like this. Wife and I have built this place from the ground up, and we've been through diversity before, and we'll come through this.
A court appearance is scheduled this morning for the man police described as the stepfather of a 4-year-old Texas girl, Mayla Davis, who has been missing for more than a week. Vince is now accused of tampering with human remains, although a body has not been found. In Houston yesterday, a group of mothers and grandmothers took part in Mother's Day marches that led to the missing child's apartment. Pamela McHenry was among them.
I just want to show my support to the parent and the family.
The state's highest court will hear cases involving murder, robbery, and a pirate ship when it holds sessions in eastern North Carolina as part of the bicentennial. They'll meet today in Halifax, Greenville on Tuesday, and Newbert on Wednesday. North Carolina will try leasing a boat to take passengers between Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands because the ferry that was supposed to do the job has been delayed again in its building. You're listening to NCN News.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The Powerade State Games of North Carolina are coming this June to Charlotte. Registration is open for athletes of all ages and skill levels in 24 different sports. The Powerade State Games feature 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on the largest sports festival of the year. Visit PoweradestateGames.org today. The Powerade State Games are brought to you by BB&T and Harris Teeter. For more information, visit PoweradestateGames.org.
It was a scary flight for passengers headed from Manchester, England to the Canary Islands. Over to London and Vicky Barker.
It happened on a budget Ryanair flight May 4th. I will kill every one of you, this passenger is shouting as he tries to pull open the plane door mid-flight, shouting obscenities. Passengers say the man had been throwing things and yelling at cabin crew, threatening one flight attendant with a fire extinguisher. They jumped in to help and say they kept him pinned down for 45 minutes until the plane could make an emergency landing. The passenger was arrested and banned from Ryanair for life. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
35 years ago, the sci-fi thriller Firestarter exploded onto the movie screen and ignited an industry in North Carolina. The movie turned Wilmington and North Carolina into a popular setting for movies and TV shows. Hunter Ingram covers the film industry for the Star News in Wilmington and told WRAL-TV.
Definitely had a massive impact and a lot of rippling effects as this film industry grew from it.
WCBS-TV chief weathercaster Lonnie Quinn tells us about the rainstorm over the weekend that affected the South.
In the South, communities are sorting through debris after heavy rain and strong winds pummeled the region throughout the week. Sheets of rain sent trash cans flying down the street in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Cars made waves in waterlogged New Orleans streets, littered with floating garbage after the storm. The state of emergency is in effect for Louisiana. And rising floodwaters in Mississippi were so severe, the governor declared a state of emergency yesterday.
The North Carolina House budget includes $1.5 million for a 100-foot spire in Fayetteville to honor civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Representative Elmer Floyd persuaded his colleagues to amend the House budget at the last minute to include the money. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Today, temperatures will head into the mid to upper 70s and lower 80s to the south. We will continue to see those rain showers work their way to the east. As we go into tonight, expect mostly clear skies with highs in the upper 40s. Cooler temperatures will continue to filter in as we go through the day. On Tuesday, you'll notice less humidity as well. Highs in the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees. Humidity 90%, dew point 67, pressure 29.77. Wind southwest at 12, visibility at 10 statute miles. It's 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Monday morning. Well, last Friday, officers from the Southern Pines Police Department were investigating a suspicious vehicle in the 1600 block of US 1 in Southern Pines. During the investigation, Kevin Lamont Alston exited his vehicle and assaulted one of the investigating officers and then fled on foot. During the ensuing foot pursuit, Alston threw to the ground a satchel just before being taken into custody by the pursuing officers. The satchel that was discarded was found to contain heroin, methamphetamines, marijuana, and other drug paraphernalia. Of course, the suspect said, "That's not mine." Anyway, Kevin Lamont Alston appeared before the Moore County Magistrate, and he had enough suspicion that he put him in the detention center under a $125,000 bond. The second U.S. Senior Women's Open tees off this week with tournament play beginning Thursday at Pine Needles Lodge and Country Club in Southern Pines. That'll run through Sunday. The championship, which debuted last year in Illinois, marks the 6th U.S. Golf Association event to be held at Pine Needles. It is open to players 50 and older. Laura Davies, the reigning senior women's champion, is a former holder of the U.S. Women's Open. She will be facing off again against 10 other champions of that tournament. And US 1 was blocked to traffic in both directions Friday afternoon due to a gas leak. Emergency units lit out at 5 p.m. for reports of odor of gas on US 1 in the area of Highway 15501 south in Aberdeen. After confirming the odor of gas, Aberdeen Fire Chief Philip Richardson ordered that the US 1 highway be closed to both directions for safety reasons. According to the chief, the gas was coming from an area that had been recently graded at the old Aberdeen Florist location in preparation for its new owners, Pool Automotive, which is moving its Southern Pines location to this newer and larger facility. The fire chief said that the workers were performing basic grading and were actually done for the day when they noticed the smell of gas and called authorities. The gas was turned off by workers just before 6:45 p.m., allowing officials to reopen US 1 to normal flow of traffic at a short time later. All right, that's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, all your latest in sports, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:17.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The Carolina Hurricanes find themselves down 2-0 in the NHL Eastern Conference Finals best of 7 with Boston. The Bruins went 2 for 2 on the power play Sunday afternoon at home and shredded the Canes 6-2. Referees sent Canes captain Justin Williams to the box both times, once for tripping in the first period, then late in the second for holding. Carolina head coach Rod Brindamore.
Willie's penalty is probably not a penalty, and then that leads to the second one, and now that's what happened. Now we open up, now we get away from even trying to do what we want to do, and we have zero success when we do it that way, so it's a tough night.
Williams scored one of Carolina's 2 goals that were all but meaningless as they came late in the third period when the Canes were already down 6-0.
Sometimes you gotta eat a poop sandwich. It doesn't taste good, and you have to chew on it for a little bit, and we'll have to do it for a couple days and get the taste of our mouth next game.
Carolina's not lost a home game in the playoffs. They'll need to find that magic as the series now shifts to Raleigh. Game 3 is tomorrow at PNC Arena. Game 4 is Thursday. NBA playoffs on Sunday. C.J. McCollum scored 37 points, and the Portland Trailblazers overcame a 17-point first-half deficit to beat the Denver Nuggets 196 and advance to the NBA Western Conference Finals.
I think I shot one too many threes, but besides that, I think I played pretty well. I wanted to empty the clip tonight, and I thought I did that.
The Toronto Raptors have reached the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals by defeating the Philadelphia 76ers 92-20 on Kawhi Leonard's shot from the corner over 76ers center Joel Embiid. Leonard capped his 41-point performance in the 7th game with a shot that bounced off the rim 4 times before settling through the hoop.
I was going to leave it all out on the floor tonight and not worry about makes or misses and still just try to will us to a win or just get to my spots.
This is NCN Sports.
The new FN 509 midsize 9mm pistol is now part of FN's legendary concealed carry lineup, and it is a natural fit. With its smaller grip frame modeled after the battle-proven million rounds tested FN 509, the FN 509 midsize comes with two 15-round magazines and naturally improves concealability. Available at your local firearms dealer. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Being a Farm Bureau insurance agent means being local. It means insuring your child's first car and standing beside you after a storm. It's more than a business to us. It's a friendship. So call an agent who calls North Carolina home. Because when you need us, we're there. In every county, every day. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The final round of the region's tradition has been pushed back to today. Yesterday's play was suspended following a 4.5-hour delay created by thunderstorms and steady rain. Steve Stricker holds a two-stroke lead at 14 under. Two-time tradition winner Bernard Langer, David Toms, and Billy Andrade are all 2 shots back. Novak Djokovic defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas 6-3, 6-4 to win his third Madrid Open title on Sunday. It was the second title of the season for the top-ranked player, Djokovic, adding to his triumph at the Australian Open. Lewis Hamilton beat teammate Valtteri Bottas to win the Spanish Grand Prix for a third consecutive year on Sunday. The Finnish secured a fifth 1-2 finish for Mercedes to start the Formula One season. Hamilton's third win of the campaign let him take the championship lead by 7 points over Bottas. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
At Sand Hills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art cheap straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sand Hills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sand Hills Collision Center, because you deserve the best.
I'm here with Aaron Cooper of Cooper Ford in Carthage to talk about service. Aaron, I know that service is a big deal in Cooper country. In fact, certified service after the sale is all part of the Cooper promise.
That's right. At Cooper Ford, we promise to do what we say we're going to do, when and how we say we're going to do it. And speaking of service, May is Military Appreciation Month at Cooper Ford, and I'd like to personally thank all the men and women who have served this great country. It's always an honor to serve those who serve, and as a small token of our appreciation, during the month of May, all active, retired, or veteran military personnel will get one free oil change and up to $1,000 off any new or pre-owned vehicle with a valid military ID. With no games, no gimmicks, just upfront, honest pricing, and certified service after the sale. I'm Eric Cooper, and I want to know you by name. Come in today and let Cooper Ford show you how car buying should be.
Just off 15501 in Carthage, just a few short minutes from the traffic circle, or on the web at cooperford.net. Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, if you listened to the extended ZZ on Friday, you heard me make a mistake. I got 2 pieces of land purchased by the school board switched with one another. During the broadcast, my phone started going nuts, as did the phone of the station owner, Steve Adams. Listeners were texting and calling to let me know I had it wrong. It was not a fun experience, but I appreciated it. I learned something from that humiliating moment. I learned to be more careful. I've always known I have a tremendous responsibility to get my facts straight, and I've always taken that much more seriously than you could possibly know. As soon as I was notified of the error, I corrected it immediately during the broadcast, and that broadcast is posted to the WEEB webpage. Nothing to hide, no attempt to hide anything. But I can promise you this, I know that me being sincere is not good enough. It's got to be right. You can bet I'll have a couple of fact checkers from now on. It was my mistake, no one else was involved. And it's a good lesson for you as a listener as well. I preach one phrase over and over and over. Never take my word Check out the facts on everything. Never believe what you hear or read. My stuff's easy to check, thank goodness. If you look at WEEB's webpage, it's all there, even moments that are not my finest. I hope you'll continue to check me out on the Zoom Wall Zone.
Light morning rain showers, especially for those counties to the north, will continue to clear out of here as we go into the afternoon. We'll work on those clouds breaking apart and temperatures heading into the mid to upper 70s. Warmer highs in the lower 80s will be possible to the south. By tonight, under mostly clear skies, temperatures will fall into the upper 40s. We'll look for cooler temperatures on Tuesday with more sunshine about the area. Look for those highs in the lower 70s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, who's in the mood for some fun?
It's Monday.
Who's ready for a great first day?
That's not me.
I was planning on sleeping in.
Don't go back to sleep, okay? I need you to wake up.
TGIMA. Thank God it's Monday again.
You're weird. You're such a weird person.
I'm just happy to be alive.
Yeah, well.
Could you take it down a notch? Whatever.
It's showtime, folks.
I
got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Hey, welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Hey, stow that sea bag, put those Glad rags away. Vacation's over. Mother's Day is done. Got to get back to work. Don't even start thinking about Memorial Day yet. Get those feet on the deck. Start moving towards the car. Get out on the job.
All right, you got your standing orders this morning. Don't forget also, we're being seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where that link's located. Or on your mobile device, you can get it with YouTube. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man in there. If you own your mobile device just needing an audio stream, we suggest many streaming apps like TuneIn, iTunes, Streama, just to name a few. And in those, you put WEEB into your search. And as always, that stream's also located on our website. Free to you. The upper right-hand corner of every page at talk973.com has an icon that says on the air, listen live. Tap that once, and you're listening just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area is going to be partly cloudy, itty-bitty chance of a shower in there, but one can brew up, particularly if I'm there. Without my umbrella, it'll show up then. Look for a high of 78. Then tonight, mostly clear, low of 52. For Tuesday, going to be pretty nice around here. Mostly sunny, low humidity, and a high of 71. We upped that a few degrees on Wednesday with 74, and really get into the heat on Thursday, 81. Remember, our normal high is low 70s this time of year. Friday, going to be like summer, mostly sunny and 85, and over the weekend, even more. Pushing 90 degrees all weekend long, but still no mention of rain Tuesday through Sunday. Right now around the Sandhills, winds from southwest at 12, visibility 10 statute miles, pressure 2977, dew point 67, humidity 90%. It's cloudy and 70 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:27 past the hour. Had an interesting weekend yesterday after I went out to the dog park with a friend of mine and walked around the perimeter. That's the long trail around.
Okay.
And as we were wrapping things up, coming out well, let me back up. Saturday, I was walking around the pond there at Sandhills Community College.
Right. Yep.
And all of a sudden, one of the ladies walking with us just jumped about 20 feet And there's over to the left was a real long, it's a good 5 foot long black snake.
Right, rat snake, yep.
And from the angle I was looking at it, it had looked like it had copperhead patterns on, but when I got up on it, it was all black.
Right.
I have a picture of that one to prove it. And I, everybody just left it alone. I was kind of shocked that none of the dogs, because we had like 10 dogs with us, and none of them showed any interest in that snake. It just froze, and all the dogs just went on by as nothing happened. And, it makes me wonder if a snake has an odor I
don't know.
That does not attract dogs.
Apparently not.
So anyway, it froze in sight, looked at us, and we walked on by, and everything was cool. Nobody bothered anybody. And next time we went around that point, it was gone.
Right.
Which I expected it to be, which was even better.
There's some big ones around.
Yeah. But then I went to the dog park yesterday, and I was walking out, and as I was looking down, I saw a snake slithering right next to my feet and slithering next to my friend's feet. And I said, "Watch out, snake." And she jumped back, and I looked at it hard, and it's copperhead.
Okay.
2 foot copperhead. And I said, "Well, you're not going to get away from this one." Because I walk with a walking stick, just for a lot of reasons. One, keep from tripping on roots,
right.
And doing face plants. And two, when dogs are running and playing real hard, sometimes they'll clip you from behind. And this helps you keep your balance, if that's the case. So I always have that there. And then if there's a dog dust up, I use the stick to separate them.
Oh, yeah, don't ever stick your hand in there.
Right. And if a dog's coming up, and big dogs are bad for this, they always want to rub their muzzle on you if you're sitting down, because that's how they taste you. But they leave a great big old slick spot across your pants. And I just set my stick down out front of myself, and it's straight up and down, and I can just
ward them
go
off,
back and forth with it, and act like a wall that they can't get around. Right. Don't have to touch them, don't have to hit them, nothing. It's just, and they'll quickly move on and go somewhere else.
Do it to somebody else.
Yeah. Go rub their muzzle on somebody else's and spit all over them. So that way everybody's happy.
Maybe.
But this copperhead, man, it couldn't have been more than 3 inches from my foot as it was slithering by. And I said, ordinarily I wouldn't kill a snake. I'd leave it alone, but this was right at the main entrance. This is where my dogs go into that area all the time, sniffing around. And I said, well, this is one snake that's not going to bother any dogs out here. So I scooped him out with my stick, and war was on. And it's hard to hit them suckers when they're moving around, but
usually you let them go, they'll disappear.
Oh, they'll disappear, but Colt was just in all that area, and prancing around and everything else, and you prance in the wrong spot, you come out.
Well, that's probably why the snake was moving, because usually they'll lay pretty still. He might have got stepped on or something.
No, he went right across that thing like he owned it.
Well, they do.
Yeah, well, I took a little ownership back.
I've been walking back on some trails, man. I tell you, there's some big snakes. We had a couple of cottonmouths one time. This is up in Back Bay in Virginia Beach, and you see one of them. It's just like, yep, I'll wait for you.
Well, if he hadn't been right on me, I might not have messed with him. If he was, 5 feet away, I'd probably leave him alone. But
well, I don't like it when they kind of they slide out there and then they kind of stop, and then they kind of eyeball you a little bit, and think, you're bigger than I am, but I can still get my teeth in you. And they just lay there looking at you.
Well, the articles I have read is usually an adult copperhead, if it bites somebody our size, generally it's mostly a dry bite. Because they know they can't eat you, so
they're just getting you off. Yeah. Exactly.
A baby copperhead is dangerous because they will unload all their venom on you.
Right, and it's concentrated too. A little bit on the younger ones. Yeah.
So this was in between that, and I.
Would you say about a 2 foot? Yeah, that's a young one's. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it didn't have the yellow tail like the babies do.
You don't want to get bit. That's a fact.
Yeah, I didn't want a dog get bit, so I said I'm going to take this boy out. And then there won't be any doubt he's not biting anybody. So, for all you tree huggers out there, you killed a baby snake. Trust me, there are plenty out there.
Yeah.
And this could have been a female, so I may have stopped hundreds of copperheads from populating the area over the lifetime of that snake.
Well, it's not going to make a difference because, like you say, there's plenty.
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
Yeah, if it had been a black snake or something, he'd be on his way. Or a vine snake. Is that what they call the little green snakes?
There's worm. Yeah, there's so many different varieties and interbred snakes. I don't even know what half of them are anymore. I just carry a book if I'm interested. And
this had the pattern on. I said, let me make sure it's not a garter snake, and it wasn't. It was definitely copperhead pattern, and it had to go, so it went. I guess I'll run into him at the Rainbow Bridge.
Maybe.
Remember that poem that Donald always told at his rallies, the snake poem?
No, I don't think
you remember that? Where he talked about, it was a poem, and the gist of it was this lady had found a snake that was injured, and she took it in, and she nurtured it back to health, and it was ready to leave the nest or of the woman's care, and it turned around and bit the woman.
Oh, well, that's a snake. Yeah.
And and the lady asked, why, after I do all this for you, you turn around and bite me? He says, because at the end of the day, I'm still a snake.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get some of these people. We had a couple of cases up in Virginia, guy collecting all kinds of poisonous snakes, and, they get loose, and then somebody's trying to get them, and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you just have to come in and clean up the whack job.
Well, it's exotic kind of stuff too. This isn't like copperhead, and he had some seriously poisonous snakes from
like
Africa.
Mamba.
I don't believe he had one of those, but he had a couple others that were really,
Was it brown snake?
Yeah,
this is the deadliest one in the world.
Yeah,
from Australia.
It might have been. I can't remember what he all had, but it was definitely from out of this country. And yeah, the herpetologist is in there, and good on you, buddy. I'm not going in there.
I remember watching the Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin, and he was in Australia going over the 10 deadliest snakes, and he got to the brown snake, which is the deadliest.
Right.
And he saw one that was going down little rat holes looking for food. And he gets on the ground as the snake's down in the rat hole and comes back out. And then he looks at Irwin, and then he gets right in his face and licks his nose. And Irwin's eyeballs are cross-eyed looking at this snake.
Okay.
He's probably crapping his pants at the same time. And then the snake backs off and goes back down another rat hole, and he goes, wow, by golly, that was close. That was too close.
Yeah, well.
I just got licked on the nose by a brown snake.
No thanks.
And after all those snake encounters and everything else, he's swimming with stingrays and gets stuck in the heart by a stingray barb. And
yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, and just literally knocked a hole in his heart and pumped himself out of blood. That's a tough way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of snakes and stuff. Why you got to go out of your way to put yourself in in that position.
Well, the funniest thing was he was in the North Carolina mountains one time, and there was a snake, a rattlesnake, a diamondback rattlesnake, sunning himself on a piece of granite rock. Mm-hmm. And he went over there and stood behind the rock, and was talking about the snake sunning himself and da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden you hear and he looks down, and there's a snake between his legs. And he goes, "Everybody be real still."
Crikey.
Because this thing strikes so fast.
Yeah.
And he slowly, did the duck walk backwards. Funny how all of a sudden you can do that duck walk.
Yeah.
And he did it backwards to get away from that snake, and he goes, "Phew, that was way too close."
Somebody had, my wife was on the Facebook, and I want to say it was at the Reservoir Park. Somebody took a picture of a snake, and it was a pine snake, which are fairly rare, but got a nice picture of it and matched it up, and they're very limited. There's very few places. Well, the Sand Hills has them, and they have some out in the mountains in Virginia, but they're protected in Virginia. I don't know what they are down here, but
I saw one. It couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 inches long.
What color was it?
A little stout. I forget. There were two of them out there.
Been
one
a hognose snake or something.
No, one hognose. Yeah. This was just a little short, stout. Looked like a full-size snake, but it was only about 4 inches long.
I don't know what that might have been.
I didn't either. I'd never seen it.
Was it color brown, green?
Yeah, it was brown.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the other one was green.
They're all over the place. There's all kinds of types. If you have pine straw, you're probably walking on them all the time. Don't even know.
Yeah. Well, it's always comforting to hear.
Well, they're worm snakes. I mean, they eat earthworms and bugs and things like that. So, they're out there doing good work for you.
I got some anthills they can chow down on.
I don't know if they get in the ants. The ants will swarm them. Next thing you know, they'll be food.
Yeah.
But I had one laying out in front of our house, just like you say. Both dogs walked right over top of him, and he's probably about as long as your desk, but real thin, black, rat snake. But he just laying out there the other day, about 2 weeks ago now. And dogs just walked right over him, didn't even notice him. The snake just laid there.
Seemed like I've seen a lot more snakes this year because we were down there by the stream.
Yeah.
The last week, as a matter of fact. And it wasn't just one snake, there were 4 of them in the stream swimming around.
Well, when the water comes up, that activates them. Plus, it's that time of year. I mean, April, May, it's getting warm. It's breeding time.
Yeah. Well, I just wish they'd find some place other than around me to do it.
Well,
I just run into a lot of snakes in the last 2 weeks.
They're sitting there thinking, I wish this guy would walk his dog somewhere else, because you're in there.
I've gone years without seeing them at the dog park, and I figured that was because, every square inch of that place is scoured by dogs on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So they would move on over to CCNC to do their living.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're not. They're hunkering down around the dogs. And that's never a good thing. But, the dogs were jumping through the water, and the snakes were there, and, oh, Lordy. And everybody was calling to get the dog out of the water, and I was ready to jump in that water and get those snakes.
Nah. 9 times out of 10,
I think it's a water snake.
Yeah, they're going the other way. They have a colored
wanted
belly.
To get them out of our normal watering hole.
Red or yellow belly, red belly water snake.
No, it was light colored belly.
Yeah, that's it. Yellow bellied or what? Yeah,
but went dark like a copperhead.
Well, some of them, if the light's right, you might mistake them for a cottonmouth, because they'll have a design, but if it's got a light belly, a little light yellow, light red, pinkish hue, it's a water snake. You really got to look at the head.
Yeah. It didn't have the triangle head.
Yeah, so and they can be aggressive. I mean, if you get over there and you step on one, they'll snap at you and hiss at you, but they're generally going to go the other way.
I just don't have time to go on the internet and go, are you dangerous or not? Let me see. Okay, you're not dangerous. You get to live.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw a rat snake, one of the yellow, black, and red ones.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, he was beautiful. He's about 3 feet long and just a really beautiful snake. And
yeah, we were down there one time, and a rat snake, was sitting there eating mouse, I believe it was. And
another reason to love snakes.
It was over there by himself eating, and the dogs were all over the place, but none of them went over there where he was. It was like there was no smell to draw him that way. And he just continued to eat his mouse, and we just left him alone.
Best thing to do.
All right, 8:44 past the hour. Let's work in a couple of our normal routine things here. See if we can put a grin on your face before you get to work this morning. At least that's the goal of what we're trying to do. Let's do a little cleaning up here. And then we are ready to rock and roll. Oh, before we do that, I know what let's do. We haven't done this a long time with the Colonel. And that is another round of this.
And now it's time for Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Or BS.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
All right, time for another round of Yes or BS, where we'll ask the Colonel if this is a true statement or it's just total BS. It's just that simple. And today, let's see, Mother's Day has come and gone. So today's topic is women who never had kids. Women who never had kids.
Okay.
And these are famous women.
Oh.
Betty White never had any biological kids.
Huh. I have no clue. I would say that's true.
It is true. Yeah. But her third husband had 3 kids from a previous marriage. So she is the stepmother. Kelly Clarkson has never had kids.
Who's Kelly Clarkson?
She's that singer who won American Idol, the first one.
Okay.
And she sings songs Stronger.
Baloney. Yeah, she's got kids.
No.
Oh.
She has 4 kids. I'm sorry. You said she did have kids?
Yes.
Okay, you're correct.
There we go.
Because the question was she has never had kids, which would be BS.
Right.
But you're still the same. So, yeah, she has 4 kids, including 2 stepkids with husband Brandon Blackstock. Oscar winner Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny. She was the female lead. Won an Oscar for it.
Oh, yeah.
Has never had kids.
Man, I don't know. True.
It is true.
Yeah.
Of course, I liked her better in The Wrestler because she didn't have a top on.
Okay. What's The Wrestler?
And that was the one with Mickey Rourke.
Oh, all right. Well, there's a good reason not to watch it.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it for him. She was worth a look. Anyway, she's never been married. She once said she's not a big fan of marriage as an institution, and she doesn't think it's fair that women are seen as incomplete humans if they don't have kids.
Okay, well, there's another reason not to watch the movie then.
But Dolly Parton never had any biological kids.
Dolly Parton? Oh, she's got kids.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
I mean, she never had any biological kids.
Right, no, I thought she had
You say no.
a son or something, doesn't she? Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, all right.
She wanted to, but it just never happened. She has a bunch of nieces and nephews who call her Aunt Granny. She once said in an interview that she feels like it just wasn't meant for her to have kids.
Okay, well.
So, quote, everyone's kids can be mine.
Well, it seems like she does a lot for kids. I mean, she's got those amusement parks and things like that. I know she's done a bunch of other stuff, too. So. She bought the Tweetsie Railroad out there so it wouldn't close.
Did she?
Yeah, that's what I'm told. Because Tweetsie was going to go out of business, and somebody wanted to sell the property. Whoever owned the property wanted to sell it, and that was going to put them out of a place to run the railroad and all that other activity. So apparently she bought it. That's what I'm told.
Well, you know why Dolly Parton's feet are so small, don't you?
I didn't know she had small feet.
Very small, petite feet. They just don't grow well in the shade.
Okay. I knew there. I got to know. Did Matt tell you that joke?
No.
Oh.
No. That one I knew. That's just my old Dolly Parton joke.
Okay, so you know bad jokes too then. Right.
Diana Ross never had kids. Yes or BS?
BS. I don't know.
It is BS. She has 5 kids. 5 of them.
I never would have known that, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, now we can get down to our rim shots for today. See how we fare on that. Kim and Kanye have a new baby boy. The family therapist already has him penciled in for around 3 o'clock on Thursday. You see, England, our royal family can have babies too. Yeah. He whines, cries, and thinks the universe exists just for his needs. In other words, he takes after Kanye right off the bat there.
Yeah, there you go.
From the moment he took his first poop, he became the hardest working member of the family over there.
Well, I don't know. Kanye writes music, doesn't he? That's hard work.
Contrary to rumors, George Clooney will not be the new royal baby's godfather. I told you he was a loser.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson brought his mom on Saturday Night Live. Then on Sunday they broke up. Aaron Rodgers had a cameo in last night's Game of Thrones, but nobody noticed because he was in the shadow of Tom Brady's cameo. The L.A. Lakers have hired Frank Vogel as their new head coach. LeBron James is looking forward to completely ignoring him. Dennis Rodman reportedly stole clothes from a yoga studio. It's always sad when a respected athlete commits a crime, which is why I'm not sad.
Or surprised.
Dennis Rodman turns 58 today.
Should ship him off to North Korea again.
Speaking of that, Kim Jong-un celebrated by awarding him North Korea's highest honor, food.
Yeah, a bowl of rice. That's right. Yeah.
Man got kicked off a Southwest flight for joking that the water handed out was actually vodka. Apparently, it spooked the pilots because they thought the customer was dipping into their private stash. If making bad jokes on a Southwest flight gets you kicked off, they would have 0 flight attendance. Study found that ride-sharing cars contain more germs than toilet seats, but not as many germs as ride-share drivers.
Ouch.
Many Midwestern residents spotted a meteor streaking through the sky early Saturday morning. About the only sighting rarer than a meteor in the Southwest is someone in a restaurant ordering a salad. There are 40 different ingredients, believe it or not, in a McDonald's Chicken McNugget. As you might have guessed, not one of them is
chicken. I got it right.
Well, some of them just write themselves, don't they? And Vladimir Putin fell on his face while waving to a crowd during a victory lap after an exhibition hockey game. Everyone in attendance was then properly executed.
Yeah.
And that's your rim shots for today. All right, 8:53 past the hour. Let's go get some facts.
And now it's time for
Random facts.
1, 2, 3.
All All right, random facts for this Monday, maybe a spare. Canada has more lakes than every other country combined. Mm-hmm. I thought Alaska did, but Canada does.
Canada. Yeah, they're all frozen, so you don't even know they're there. But,
Manu Boyle, don't really know him, but he was 7'7", and is the only player in the NBA who has blocked shots in his career, has more blocked shots in his career than points.
What's he just standing with his head over the basket or something?
Stands in front of the basket with his hands up.
Yeah.
If you're driving 60 miles per hour and you sneeze, your eyes are closed for 50 feet.
Yeah. Yep.
I know you can't keep them open, but didn't know you travel 50 feet.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I guarantee you, in that brief second, somebody yells, "Deer!"
Right.
Deer in the road.
Or somebody locks their brakes up in front of you.
Yeah. There are 40 different ingredients in the McDonald's Chicken McNugget. We just went over that. Mm-hmm. And 7-Eleven started in Dallas way back in 1927 as a store that only sold ice. Eventually expanded to sell milk, bread, and eggs, and then evolved into the first convenience store.
Well, that I didn't know. That is interesting.
And that's your random facts for today.
Ice from 7 to 11, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you still had ice chests back then, so it's a pretty important thing. Down in Texas, I can imagine even more so.
Let's see. What do we want to do? How much time we got? Okay. Okay, well, this one's pretty good. All right. Or do I want to do a good news or? Oh, yeah, this is even better. Good news story. Guy named Armando Marcai waits tables at a well-known pizza joint in New York called Patsy's. And earlier this month, a lady named Karen Vinocour was there with her adult daughter and didn't leave a tip. Here's why. The walls of the place are covered in photos of famous people who've been there. She asked why there weren't more photos of women. So Armando joked that maybe they just don't like pizza as much. And they didn't like that. So they stiffed him and left. But then Armando had a chance for some major payback because they accidentally left an envelope behind with the cashier's check in it for $424,000.
Hoorah. That's a tip.
Cashier's check.
Tip.
It turned out that Karen was looking for apartments in the area and the check was for a down payment.
It's a tip.
And Armando could have deposited it since it was a cashier's check, but instead he gave it to his boss so no one else could get their hands on it. Karen freaked out when she couldn't find that check, you think?
Oh, yeah.
Especially $500,000, especially when her bank said she'd have to wait 3 months to even try to cancel it.
Yeah, that's almost as good as hitting the lotto.
Yeah, cashier's check is the money's already been taken out.
Yep.
And just basically put on paper.
That's guaranteed money.
Yeah. And they say she's not rich. Well, could have fooled me.
400,000.
She's a retired social worker.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a huge chunk of her life savings, you think? The New York Daily News ended up tracking her down after they heard about the story, and she offered Armando a very nice tip as a reward, but he declined. So he's helping with school supplies because he's working his way through med school. So she apologized for stiffing him, and in the end, she kind of got with what she wanted because they took a photo of her, and now the restaurant is putting her photo up on the wall.
For stiffing him.
Huh?
For stiffing him on the check.
Well, the wall is up there on the wall, and They're holding the check. So it goes for this, what is this, Monday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for Till Lady Tuesday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you're here on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the Dog. We'll all see you at the Snake Infested Dog Park today at 2 p.m.